Sharia law. Activists from coast to coast held rallies.
And things got heated in San Bernardino. CBS 2's Greg Mills shows us what happened when counter-protesters got involved.
Minutes after this protest got going, a few guys with Act for America, a group against Sharia law, ran across Waterman Avenue towards a group that considers the anti-Sharia group to be anti-Muslim. San Bernardino police kept them apart.
If you fail to disperse, you will be subject to arrest.
Sides were quickly separated. Act for America on this side of Waterman.
No Sharia law!
On their website, Act for America claims more than 500,000 followers, and preserving our Constitution is one of their greatest concerns. That's why they're here today in San Bernardino and at rallies across the country.
To fight against any Sharia law being enacted in our country.
Islam is taking over our country. They've got these radical ideas.
This woman from the other side, literally and figuratively, believes the anti-Sharia protesters just don't get it.
Sharia law is not one thing. Every country has a different version, so they don't even really know what they're protesting.
Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines Sharia as Islamic law based on the Quran. Two sides today definitely see things differently.
They want to attack.
Both sides made continuous verbal attacks, and a few from the Act America side took action once again.
Nazi punk!
You know why you bully us? We'll bully you, and we're outnumbering them today.
They say the hate is all on that side, but it's this group here that's gone after that group twice now. There were about 300 people battling over the Sharia law issue here today.
No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA.
Police said there were 3 arrests for vandalism. After getting his foot stepped on by a horse, this man was clearly not pleased with how his day ended.
Let's win once.
In San Bernardino, Greg Mills, CBS 2 News.
Hey, welcome to Punks for Progress. This is Punker Mike. That's Aaron.
Hey, bro, what's happening?
What's up, dude? How are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We have an important show today. You went to the Anti-Sharia counter demonstration in San Bernardino on Saturday.
I did.
And got some video from it, a lot of photo images, and you're going to be seeing all the photos as we talk now. And
not a whole lot of photos, but I got some photos.
Okay, and then so what we're going to do in this video right now is Mike is going to walk you through basically his experience and from his side of it, and then when he's done and we're done kind of explaining what went down, he's going to show, or we're going to show up the 3 bits of video that Mike took, and then we're also going to steal video from Tim Pool. That we'll explain what that video is later when we get there. And we're going to explain Mike's day. We're going to show the 3 videos that he took, and then I guess before I let you kind of take off, Mike, I just want to say this right off the bat. All video that I have seen, I've seen 3 different live streams and the video that Mike has taken himself, and it is very, very clear that the counter demonstration, which did have some Antifa people, but it was basically just a general swath of Southern Californians who don't like Nazis, and they remained completely nonviolent and non-confrontational, and numerous times the alt-right Nazis charged and attacked Mike and the others. And we'll see at the end of the video that when they realized the demonstration had left, the Proud Boys and the Identity Europa people and the straight-up hardcore racist Nazi white nationalists chased down the Antifa people, quote-unquote Antifa people, to assault them, to find them and beat them down. And we're going to show you video proof of that. And so what today's video is going to do and what it's going to illustrate is that literally everything that the alt-right has been saying is absolute bullshit. It's lies. It is truly them that are the that are the agitators and that are the instigators of violence. And where Antifa may have made a mistake by allowing themselves to physically be involved in a physical altercation with the alt-right in Berkeley, they have since learned their lesson. They are showing themselves to be continuously nonviolent, and the alt-right is showing its true fucking Nazi colors. They are violent. They want to do violence. They want to hurt people. They're murdering people on the streets. And anyway, Mike, I guess I said enough. And but it's just so important, man. It is so important.
I mean, and let me tell you something, Aaron. Let me tell you something now. I mean, coming from a lefty liberal side of it, okay, this was, sticking my foot into now the anarchist side of things, and to see it from that point of view was completely eye-opening. So,
no, I understand. I absolutely understand, because it's one thing to be in the midst of it, and it's another thing to see it on video. It's like when you're there, bro. I know, man, this is gonna sound all hippie, weird, new age stuff, man, but it's like it's just the hatred just exudes off of them. You can physically feel it. They don't even have to say anything, bro. And I know what that sounds like, but it's just when you're there.
You know what, Aaron? I didn't realize what was going on, but I came home and immediately boned out and went to a little punk rock show out in Pomona, and then came home.
Right.
And so I knew I was exhausted, but I was still, home decently early and was able to, got up in the morning, and it still hadn't all quite sunk in yet. I was still waking up in the morning. I hadn't seen any of the news reports or anything. But I got to tell you, bro, Sunday I was exhausted. I crashed on the couch early, and I went to bed early, and I slept in, and it was like I was physically exhausted. And I tell you, I couldn't understand. It's one of the things I could not understand standing on that corner was it almost seemed like the protest was against us. They were protesting against us. They were yelling the most vile, hateful things at us. Like personally, like there was one older lady, all dressed in red, and she had a little megaphone. And she was directly across the street from me, and she was yelling, "How dare you!" And what are you thinking? And going on, and just Bible scriptures and just quoting. I just started blowing her kisses. I mean, she was just out of her mind, bro. I mean, just the hate, and it's like, and we were saying. We kept calling them Nazis. We told them to fuck off. We kept our chance. They gave us, as soon as I walked up, bro, and I'll go back and start over with how the day started, but they gave me a list of chants, and that's all we did. We stood there and chanted, but it was vile hatred they were spewing, bro, and they were definitely the ones that instigated the violence. So,
well, sure, and I wanted to say just real quick, Mike, just to kind of clarify a little bit what you said, because you're saying, okay, they were hurling insults at us, and that's all they did. And then you're like, and we hurled insults at them. There is a distinct difference, and here it is that the counter-demonstration, its purpose was to demonstrate against the alt-right. So what you would do by natural due course is go there and yell at them. But the alt-right's purpose was to, send a message about, get some message across that Sharia law could be a reality in America and look out. Like, they didn't do that messaging. They chanted that here and there. Fuck Sharia law. But they didn't give you any information give speeches about how Sharia law could actually be a reality.
No.
And actually, everybody there, bro, I would be willing to bet that there wasn't one single person in attendance in San Bernardino, let alone maybe even people who watch the live streams, who want Sharia law in America. Okay? Mike, do you want Sharia law in America?
God, no.
God, no. Okay.
Allah, no. No, Allah, no.
Do you think any of those people you stood with want Sharia law in America?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Without question, they all think it's a disgusting notion. Okay, and so.
But the thing is, the people I stood with were smart enough to know that it's never going to happen, and so you don't go on the protest. You don't go on a corner and protest under the disguise of Sharia law is coming to this country, and what it's doing to gays and homosexuals, it kills gays and it mutilates women, and it's like, don't give me this shit that you care about gay people and women right now, because you fucking don't.
Right.
It was a hateful group of people there that were just spewing the most horrible things. Honestly, I mean, the things they would say. I mean, and they were yelling directly at us. We chanted over and over with a drum. You can hear it. When they charged it the second time, we stood there arm in arm, saying, Nazi punks, fuck off. Nazi scum, fuck off. That video will be played later. I mean,
okay.
So let's start from the beginning.
Let's
go back to the beginning. So our protest was supposed to start at 8. Theirs was supposed to start at 10. So I got there at 8 o'clock when the thing started. And there was probably 20 people there, and they were dressed in black, and they had masks on. It was clearly Antifa. Okay? Or ACT. What is it? I'm sorry. It's ACT was the group that organized the other side. It was resistfascism.org that had pretty much
refuse.
I'm sorry, refusefascism.org is the group that was there, and they were masked up and they had signs and they didn't know who I was. That's the only people that were there when I got there.
Michael, let me stop you. The refuse fascism people were masked up.
Yes.
Drive out the Trump-Pence regime. No.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because I've marched with them in Berkeley, and the ones that I've marched with and stood with at different events, they don't mask up. So I just found that interesting.
No, these people were definitely masked up.
And I want to say really quick before you go into more that I can say this quickly is people mask up because the alt-right doxes people, and they take they get your picture, they find your Facebook profiles, they find friends in your Facebook profiles, and they track people down and they hurt people.
Yes,
and that's a big reason
this.
why people mask up. Mike and I don't, and actually we're probably stupid not to. Okay, but we're not doing it because it gets thrown in our face. You're what are you afraid of? Blah blah blah. You know, we have nothing to hide, so that's a choice we've made. But people don't mask up to be intimidating and scary. They do it because they don't want those Nazis on the other side of the street to find them and find their families and hurt them, because they do this. Anyway,
yes.
I'll let you go ahead.
Okay, yes, that's the whole idea. Yes, and this was brought up more than once because, of course, everybody asked, and it had to be said. And it's not. I mean, I even got confronted by one of the cops. Anyway, so I got there at 8, and because I didn't know anybody there, and I showed up by myself. I looked probably a little suspicious, and one of the directors came up to me and we had a little talk, and he asked me who I was and who I knew, and I kind of explained a little bit about you and Revolution Books and told him how I feel and my politics, and showed him my tattoo and my jacket. I'm like, look, dude, I'm one of you guys. And he's like, okay, well,
totally.
just be cool, blah blah blah. And I said, I just wanted to see what's going on here, man. I'm here to stand with you guys, and I'm not here to be violent. Don't worry about me. I'm not going to get violent. So worries, man. After that, everybody was cool. Like they handed me a chant list. I'm like, I can pick up on your chants. I don't need a chant list. I went to Mormon primary. I've got it. Okay. One guy went around and was handing out Cliff Bars to people. You guys, I'm like, no, I'm good, man. Thanks, no worries. And then more of our people started showing up, and we probably had 50 people there. So when finally they started showing up, and they started showing up about 9 o'clock. So after I had a little chit chat with a gentleman, I happened to notice that Abigail Medina was there. I would think we've talked about Abigail Medina before. I met her. Right, had a little talk with her before the election. She was running for state assembly here, and San Bernardino County School Board. Anyway, so she was there. So I went over there and talked to her. She totally recognized me. We had a nice little talk. One of the guys on her campaign team was there, and I recognized him from the Unity Expo that I went to right after the women's march. Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
I recognized more left liberals there. Okay. So now, first I'm only dealing with anarchists. Now I'm finally dealing with liberals again, right? So once I went over there and they, and they seemed to see me, I knew these people and these people knew me, then they knew I was okay, I think, and everything seemed cool. Sure. But like I said, these people started showing up then, and I got talking with these two older ladies, and one of them said she had to leave real soon. And so one of the organizers came over and said, well, look, you don't leave alone. And I said, well, I'll walk her. And so when she was ready to leave, I had said, I'd walk her back. And they were like, you can't go alone. We have to have at least a couple people go with you. So you're not walking back alone. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get that. No worries. That's cool. So I'll just say real quick, Mike, that tactic and that bit of safety and comradeship that they employed comes into very significant play at the end of the day, and we get to that later. But it's so important that you guys did that, and I just want to applaud them for being aware of the importance of that. And again, we're going to illustrate why it's very important that you did not walk around alone that day. But anyway, go ahead, Mike. Sorry. So actually, it was really cool. These two young gentlemen came and helped us, or walked with us to the car. And as we're walking, I find out they're all from Redlands. And the two kids, they were from the Grove. They went to the Grove School out here, the Montessori junior high school out here. And the lady lived down the street from Montessori of Redlands. So they were.
And these are straight anarchist kids? These are straight anarchist
Straight
kids,
dressed in black with masks on. Straight up, man. I was
Redlands,
like, wow.
Redlands representing.
I was tripping.
Redlands comrades, dude.
So I walked back, and they had started gathering, and now they probably had just as many people on their corner as we had on our corner. So I took a few pictures of them, probably, I don't know when it was, 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that, probably somewhere around there. And that's when people really started to show up on their side. And then we started having a few more people kind of filter in, but it looked at that point like we were starting to be outnumbered. But they went and got a PA system, and there were guys, drums and things there to make noise. My side did, yes. My side did, yes. Now they're on the corner. They're on the corner where the Inland Regional Center is. They're actually on that exact corner where it's a big place, and where the shooting and the tragedy took place is down the street a little bit.
So actually, I have to stop you. So two things. First of all, why don't you just refamiliarize people real quick with the shooting that you're talking about?
Okay,
and
that
then,
was.
Why don't you give it after you do that? Give us the two streets in the intersect.
Sure.
Directions they run, and I think that'll help us explain things a little bit going forward. So go ahead, bro.
The Inland Regional Center was where the two Muslim extremists that actually lived here in Redlands went and shot up their co-workers at the Inland Regional Center right around Christmas time about 2 years ago. 14 people were killed, and then the Redlands cops chased them down and shot them down in the streets of San Bernardino. So that happened right there, and that was on the corner. We were actually on the corner of Waterman and Orange Show. It's a pretty major intersection in San Bernardino. If anybody's ever been to San Bernardino, you're pretty familiar with Waterman. It's like the main highway. You get off the 10 freeway right there at Waterman. Waterman's going to run north-south, and Orange Show runs east-west, okay? So we're
And the Shell station used... Go ahead.
Yeah, I think they said the Shell station was on the northeast corner. I don't think so. I think it was on the northwest corner, but whatever. Anyway, so we're at the Shell we're on the Shell station kitty corner from the Inland Regional Center, from the corner where the Inland Regional Center is, okay? And that's the corner they were gathered on. So it was that's how it was. We were on one corner, they were on the other corner, and that's where it came. And then, the numbers started growing. It started getting later into the day, and we just stood there and chanted. That's basically all we did, was stand there and chant. And then one guy from our side walked across the street and stood. Now, he stood, let me see, I'm going to say it's the southwest corner.
Well, I do believe that you're backwards and they're right. I believe he went and stood on the southeast corner.
Okay, that's
he's
fine.
directly across the street. He's directly across the street
from the Shell station.
Right. Shell station, right. So if you were standing at the Shell station looking kitty corner at the center where the shooting was, he would have went to your right across the
Yes,
street.
exactly. He walked right across the street. Okay, and he was standing there as alone. And I've got pictures of him standing there alone with a flag and his arm raised. You know, and I think I even put it on Facebook. Said one man can't make a difference. After that, he stood there for about 5 minutes by himself, and then a few more of our people went over to that side of the street. So when they saw that, a few of their people walked over to the corner across from them. So now we're each taking up two corners, with the two main corners being, you know, the two that started being the main focus of where most everybody is. They kept
the northeast corner with you guys and the northwest corner with
There
them.
you go.
That's
right.
the main two spots.
Okay. Okay. Southwest corner. We're on the northwest corner. They're on the southwest.
And
okay,
they moved.
whatever.
And they moved to the southwest.
Anyway, so we're standing across the street now from each other. Okay. And like I said, it's as far as the timing goes, it's hard to say because kind of walked back and forth. I stood there with a sign for a lot of the time there, you know, and you know, it was interesting because I saw some guy walking through like our stuff, man. All of a sudden, I see this cat walking through, and he's wrapped in a Blue Lives Matter flag.
Ugh.
Like, what the fuck is this dude? Because I know they have Blue Lives Matter flags on the other side. I saw a couple over there. Like, what the fuck is this dude walking through?
Right.
He had a helmet on. This guy one of us?
Yeah,
So I don't think this guy's one of us. And he just walks over to the corner and kind of stands there.
Fuck no, he's not.
And the light changes, and he just kind of stand there, and it's like, this guy's not one of us, man. How come you guys aren't getting this guy out of here? Nobody was saying anything. Nobody was talking to him, and he wasn't saying a whole lot. I mean, I didn't hear him saying anything. So, but he ended up going across the street, and you know, and I was like, what the fuck is that, man? That's just weird shit. Just you stand on your side of the street, and we stand on our side, right?
Right.
So we're standing there and yelling and, you know, chanting our chants, and I'm standing looking at the other corner where our people were standing. And now there was a group that showed up with a black anarchy flag, and I don't know what group that was, but it was a straight black flag with a white anarchy sign on it, okay? And they showed up. I saw them walking from where we had parked our cars. They walked through the Shell station, and people, you know, on our side were like, hey, thanks for coming, man, thanks for coming. And as soon as they got there, they charged across the street and stood with the people on the other corner, with our people on the other corner, right?
Right.
So that guy's standing there with his flag, and you can see it in the video, and you can see it in the pictures, you can see it on the news, that those people were over. So they're standing there. Once that guy gets there, I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then all of a sudden, I see the people kitty corner from me cross the street towards the people on our side of the street that are like across from me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The other faction of your group. Like, so,
right.
So you guys have broken up into
two groups. I'm in the main group. Right.
And they have kind of broken up into two groups on the west side, two sides of the street, right?
Right.
So you guys are taking up all four corners.
Yes.
You guys are on the east side, they're on the west side, and their southwest faction totally charges your south. Because you're the smaller faction of your group, too.
Yes, exactly. So, that was it exactly. The larger faction of their group charged the smaller faction of our group. So
and the cops went in,
and I'm standing there across from them, and I saw these guys, like there were two guys. I think they were holding a banner or something. It was hard to tell, and I saw them like charge and push into our people, and I was like, "Whoa!" And I grabbed my camera out and I started recording, and as well as everybody else on that side of the street with me did too. And as soon as that happened, the cops just swarmed
to get proof of them instigating violence, unprovoked violence against people who disagree with their beliefs.
I mean,
you gotta get proof
I got the video. It was a big scuffle. There was dirt flying everywhere. The cops like just jumped on the shit. You could see them coming out, and they've got these metal batons, bro. And they just like whip them, right? And they just extend all the way. Freaking, you can see in the video. You watch these guys getting out of the car, whipping up their batons, right? So
yeah, those pigs just love whipping those batons out too.
Don't they though? So they whip these things out, right? And they go in there. I found out later that it looked like a young lady on our side got injured in that whole melee, and they had to take her away.
I just got kind of plowed over, or what?
I'm not real sure. She got her arm. I guess she hurt her arm. Something happened. So, yeah, she pretty much probably got plowed over, bro, because that's what it looked like to me. They plowed over, right? So the cops like I said, converged. And next thing you know, we got copters flying over us, man. And the news media was already there. The local Channel 7 and the Channel 29/Channel 9 news was there. So they were already there, and they were getting video. This whole thing happened, right? So the cops pushed the freaking Nazis back to the other side of the street. And you know what? That's what I'm going to call them from this point on, because it's just easier to refer to them as that, and that's exactly what they were, bro. They were hateful Nazis.
Right. And with a spattering or a handful of people who straight up aren't.
There were Trump supporters that probably didn't realize.
Who don't understand that the bulk of the people they were standing with are 100% dyed-in-the-wool Nazis.
Oh, yeah.
And
totally.
I want to give those people – I think it's important to always point that out. There are people at these alt-right rallies that are not racist, but those racists love that they're there, especially if they're LGBTQ or if they're Latino or especially if they're black.
Well, there was a couple of them there, Latinos for Trump.
They can go, see, we're not –
well, dude, and
racist.
Right.
But
dude,
those people aren't racist, and they're caught up, and it's so sad. My heart's starting to grow.
I doubt
for those people.
Well, now
they're ignorant, but they don't know. I don't think they know that the vast majority of people they're hanging out with are racist. And like Mr. Base Spartan, who didn't know and who turned recently, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But go ahead, Mike.
I'm sorry, Aaron, but I after this happened, I'm going to disagree with you. I think those Trump supporters are racists. I think they're systemic racists. I think they don't want to think they're racist, but they are. They think they're better. They think they're better than people that have brown skin.
But let me clarify it like this: they're bigots. They may not actually be racist, but they might be sexist. They might be homophobic. They might be, you know what I mean? There's all different forms of bigotry. You don't have to be racist to be bigot. You know what I'm saying? So I'll agree with you that everyone there is bigoted in some way. They're Islamophobic, or they just hate Muslims.
The bottom line.
That's the only thing they hate. But bottom line is they're bigots.
And that's the bottom line. They were all Islamophobic. That's
sure.
it. Well, okay, so. Yeah. So where were we now? Oh yeah, they charged across the street. So the cops finally pushed those guys back. So now they're back on their main corner, and we're on our corner, but they're still on the other corner now across from us. Okay, well because we had the Shell station on our side of the street. Now they want to come over and go to the Shell station on our side of the street. And we're like, and so while they're doing this, they start walking through us. Right, and at this point now, there's still not a whole lot of cops on our side of the street. The cops aren't like taking care of this at all. They're just letting them walk through it, and we had to lock ours. They're letting it happen, right? So they finally get him back on that side of the street, and things had kind of calmed down. I think most of the Nazis had left the Shell station at that point, and now they decided that they're going to take over that corner that we were on. So now they're on 3 corners, and we're on 1. Okay, and so I'm sitting in the back, and they're just that's when I was blowing kisses to the lady in the red shirt, and it's like holy crap, holy man. So I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden I see something happening over on the other side of the street, like where the. So I walk over there.
The northwest, right?
Okay, the northwest. Yes. So I walk over there, and I see the Nazis starting to cross the street again. So I immediately link arms with.
A shit ton of them, right? Like a whole shit ton of them.
A whole shit ton of them. Well, there was a whole shit ton of them last time, but now there's a whole shit ton of them coming right at me, and I'm standing there on the curb, at the edge of the curb, locked arms. And we're yelling, Nazi punks, fuck off. Anyway, so as these guys are coming at us, right, the cops try to cut them off. And there was a cop on a motorcycle, pulls right in front of these guys. I mean, I'm on the curb, and then there's probably 2 steps, and then the cop on the motorcycle, and then the Nazis, right? The Nazis push over the cop on the motorcycle, push his ass over. Right?
Whoa.
And that's when more cops stepped in. But they let him fucking stand there and yell hate at us the whole time. And we're standing there on our corner.
Didn't stop and didn't arrest anybody for assaulting an officer?
Nope.
Blue lives matter, right, bro?
Right,
Blue
because
lives matter,
well, they
right?
kept saying that because they were buttering up the cops, right?
Right.
So they so they stood there and let him yell at us. Finally got him back across to the other side of the street, right? So they pushed the Nazis back to the other side of the on their corner over there. And as I'm standing there, still locked arms with my brothers, right? We've got like 7 or 8 cops standing in front of us, and I've got plenty of pictures to show it here because I took a bunch of them. There's like 7 or 8 cops. It's standing in front of us, facing us with their fucking batons out.
You were just physically attacked, and the cops decide to face you off like you're the threat.
Stand in front of us.
Arresting alt-right. They should have been arresting alt-right people, but instead treat you like you're a threat. You were just victimized blatantly. And guess what? One of the
twice,
we
bro.
got Tim Pool
Twice.
video because he had. Mike has the video of the first rush against them, and Tim Pool has video of the second rush, and video proof that after these Nazis did this illegal and provocation against your side, against you, the fucking straight up victims of an illegal fucking provocation. It's disgusting, man.
Right. And then on the other side, I look over there, 2 cops sitting there chit-chatting with him. One's on his phone. So you're all making nicey-nicey with the Nazis, yet you're standing in front of us with your batons out like we're going to fucking hurt somebody. And I'm like, I start saying shit to the cops. I'm like, what the fuck is this about? And everybody's like, oh, yeah, hey, what's going on, man? How come? What's that about? Why? Because we got masks on? I'm like, I don't have a mask on. Now what?
Yeah, I said that to you, right? Like, well, because of the masks and stuff.
Well,
and
that was
like,
a little.
I ain't
That was a
wearing
little.
mask.
Well, that was a little bit later on. And if you'll see, like I think you saw in the opening video we played of the news story, the guy in the end of the video got his foot stepped on by a horse. The Nazi, there was some Nazi over there got his foot stepped on by a lady cop's horse. Right. That lady cop was standing on her horse right smack in front of me, and I had a conversation with her. I even told her I thought her horse was cool. That horse had a fucking heart tattoo on its front leg. Okay. It was a cool horse, man. It was a really pretty, like, light brown horse with, like, blonde hair. It was a fucking cool looking horse, right? Big.
That cop could use that horse to trample innocent people if she
right.
wants.
Well, here's the deal. One of the Nazis was on, and this is what they kept doing too, bro. It's like they kept coming on our side of the fucking street. And they just stand there. This one Nazi would just come and stand there with a sign.
Like 2 or 3 at a time or something? Like
2 or 3 at a time, one at a time. One guy would just come and stand there with a sign. And so we would link arms around him, and we just kept moving him forward and pushing him so he'd be like, just take away his space and push him into the street. And he finally quit pushing on us.
Right.
And one guy said, quit pushing us. And at that point, he was in the street, and we stood there linked arm, and he couldn't get back on the curb. And so we got him out of there. But there was another guy, and somebody tried to engage this dude, and I'm like one of the big guys, and I think it was the guy in the end of that Tim Pool video, the guy that was masked up in the white. In fact, I'm almost positive it was that dude. Got behind that guy. I think it's in my video
or whatever.
Huh? I'm sorry?
The guy with the fencing gear, the guy wearing the fencing
No, not the guy wearing the fencing gear. I saw that dude, too. That was a little dude. That was a smaller dude. No, there was a guy. I know. I think he was with one of the organizers, so that's why it was weird. I'm like, okay. But there was a guy, and you saw him. He was in the end of the video, and he was with that black lady, and he was my friend now.
Okay.
At the end of that Tim Pool video that he was
right,
that guy, he had a white mask on, and I think he had a white hoodie. I can't remember for sure, but he got right up in this guy's, like, right up in his space, like in his back, and was like breathing on the back of his neck, just standing there. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm with you, bro. And I I got right up on the other side of him, same place, and just tried to intimidate the shit out of this guy. But he finally engaged him. And then that's when one of the other young ladies came over and said, look, dude, don't even engage this guy. Just blow him off. But they definitely tried to instigate stuff. Okay, so we've been charged twice. And see, at this point now, they've already charged us twice, and we haven't done anything. Nobody's gotten into the fights. The cops have stopped everything. So now what do? Is that now they want to go back to the Shell station. They want to go back into the liquor store at the Shell station, right? So the cops aren't going to let them walk through us like they were, but they weren't watching them walk back, and they kept walking back through us, so that we had to form a line behind where we were standing and kind of block them off so they would quit walking through us. And the cops were making them walk around us and basically jaywalk across both streets so that they weren't walking through
and
us.
they tried to charge you. They tried to charge you, like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 of them later in the day through
Yes.
across like the gas station parking lot.
They
and
did,
a couple
yes.
cops stepped in and blocked them.
Right, and then that's when I went back over there and linked
There's
arms
3
with them.
times that they tried that Nazis tried to charge you.
Well,
examples.
here's my impression of what was going on, because now at this point it's got to be 11, 12 o'clock. It's pretty warm out. I mean, fortunately I had a nice black sign that I could block the sun off my bald head, so I wasn't getting my head sunburned. They weren't getting what they wanted.
Right.
And it seemed like they were trying to instigate stuff. They kept trying to instigate. They charged over the street twice. They kept coming over and standing on our side and trying to engage and get us to fucking do something, push them. I saw at one point one guy, did engage and was, "Get out of here, you fascist," or "Get out of here, you Nazi," and the guy had a Gilligan's hat on, a bucket hat is what my son calls it, or something like that, and he flicked that hat, and I saw it go landing in the street, and the guy got all pissed off, and he picked up his hat and then ran back across the street. But after a while, the cops finally made sure that the Nazis were staying on their damn side of the street, because the Nazis would even come over and stand in the island. Like the island in between on Orange Show.
Right.
So they'd stand in the island there in between, and it's like, the cops finally made him go back to the other side of the street. But they were still coming over, going, well, we want to go to the show station. We're free. It's our right. We have the right to be here, too. But they were definitely trying to cause shit. So
right, they're just using that as
right. So when it seemed
so
like
they can get at you, fuck with you.
It seemed like their numbers had started dwindling a little bit, because it's like, I thought y'all were supposed to march. Y'all didn't march. You stayed on the corner and you spattered hate. And so it seemed like it started breaking up. And then one of the organizers, I heard her talking to one of the anarchists I was standing by, and she's like, I think it's kind of breaking up. What do you think? Do you think we should start thinking about heading out, blah, blah, blah? And he was like, yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. So it seemed like, and it was probably right around 12:15 or something, that this was going on. And it did seem like it was starting to break up. It seemed like the Nazis started to back down and to lose their energy, and we were getting exhausted. And so it just seemed like, so I kind of hung out and just kind of watched things kind of, slowly depart. I could see a couple of our people leave, and I could definitely see their people walking away. And so I'm like, it's after 12, man. I plan on being here till 2 o'clock, but if I can get out early, dude, I want to go home and sit down. This is killing me. My back was hurting at this point. And
you're an old man. Bunker Mike's an old fuck.
Yeah, so I am. And the other thing is too. Well, I told you the media was there. None of us talked to the media. None of us. They said don't talk to it, because you never know how they're going to edit it and how it's going to make you sound. Don't engage the media. Don't engage the Nazis. And I'm like, you got a good point. Don't even talk.
And I'll tell you, in all throughout Tim Pool's live video, he at one point he went over and he heard. He got kind of close, and I'm assuming it's the woman you're saying is the organizer. She was talking on the mic, and she said that.
She was an
talking
organizer,
about
yes.
how don't engage them, do not engage
Aaron,
them, just can't. What?
She got on every hour.
Okay.
She got on that mic, and she's like, this is a mic check. Here's
Right.
the deal. Write this number on your body. This is the number of the Legal Law Center in Los Angeles. If anything should happen, here's the number. Write it on your body. Here's the number again. Write this on your body. Do not engage these people. Do not engage the media. Blah, blah, blah. And she rattled off all these things every single hour.
Right. And so Tim Pool got video of her doing that one time, and then spent the rest of the day talking about how that was cultish. That she was ordering her followers not to have conversations with people they disagree with, and that's what cults do when they indoctrinate people, is they tell you to other people who disagree with you. Only listen to us. That's the way he portrayed it all through his video, bro. Which you and I both know what absolute utter crap that is. It's like, no, we're not here to have a dialogue with you.
No.
We're not here to learn things from you. We know what you have to offer. It's bullshit. We disagree with it. We came here to drown you out and not let your message be heard. Not have a conversation with you. But that's the way his narrative is for 3 hours. Now, this is a guy, Tim Pool, for you alt-right followers who call him unbiased. He was blatantly lying and he knows it. He is not unbiased. He's a propagandist and a liar. Anyway, and that is the professional and most advantageous way to handle that situation. It doesn't do any good to have conversations with them in that environment, most especially.
Well, let me tell you, the whole theme and the whole energy of what was going on there. Oh, the best part. As soon as we get there, right, that young lady that you saw on the mic all the whole time, and she was also the one on the news. As soon as we got there, she had got on the mic. Once the mic came up and she introduced herself, and she read all this, right? Next thing you know, she's walking around with a sage pot, saging everybody. She walks up to us, and I was standing there by Abigail Medina and the two older ladies I was talking to. Would you like some sage? We're like, sure, that smells great. And she saged us, right? When I walked the older lady back to her car and came back with the two kids from the Grove School, they the whole place smelled like sage. It was so cool.
That is cool. I love the smell of sage.
That's
and
how.
I'm a Reno-lite, man. It's our state flower.
That's the whole theme over there was you don't talk to fucking Nazis. They're dumbasses. You cannot have a discussion, a legitimate discussion with somebody who's ignorant, and they're fucking ignorant. The bottom line,
they hate you, and they hate you.
Obviously.
And here's the difference with the hate. There's hate on our side. We have hatred. But we have hatred for the beliefs, for the ideas that they're espousing. Okay? And some of us do hate them as people too. I don't. I'm really trying not to. But I really despise the things that they're saying. I have true and honest hatred for their beliefs and the things that they're saying. They hate us. They hate us as people for disagreeing with them. They want to do physical harm to us and eliminate us from existence because we disagree with them. It's a visceral, dirty, deep-seated hatred. And our hatred is about the things you believe hurt people. We hate that you are believing these things. And I can tell you right now that if any one of them would give up their beliefs, I would embrace them. And I'll tell you, because at your demonstration, Michael, Based Spartan was at your demonstration. You didn't know it because you don't recognize him. So Base Spartan is the guy who everybody has seen in all the pictures from Berkeley. He was in Portland. He's an alt-right fucking hero. He's the dude who had the big Trojan hat with the kind of rainbow colors, it all buffed out, no shirt, blood on him and shit, and just furious fucking warrior all day on the first clash in Berkeley. He's Base Spartan, dude. He's alt-right fucking hero. They were doing crowdfunding for him to get him to other demonstrations. And apparently, bro, he showed up at your demonstration to say, you know what? I finally figured it out. Those Proud Boys guys over there, those Identity Europa guys, they're not fucking here for love and for fucking free speech. They're Nazis. He's like, they got Nazi shit tattooed all over them, and fucking, I'm here to denounce them. He's like, I came out to, and the original reason I came out to Berkeley to support what was going on is because I believed that free speech was being attacked by leftists. He had believed the hype that anarchists and communists were out to attack free speech in Berkeley. And when he got to Berkeley, I'm not going to necessarily discount him for thinking that that's what was going on. It was so hard to tell at that first clash in Berkeley who the real aggressor was. I am of the assumption that them doing their rally in MLK, and if you look at the videos from alt-right people in the lead up to it, they went there for the sole purpose to have a fight. So I would argue that they were the initial aggressors. But who threw the first punch that day? It's so hard to tell. So Base Spartan comes away from this going, Yeah, it's true. They fucking are trying to trample free speech. So he gets closer to them. He starts hanging out with them. He goes to Portland with them. He was down in I think it would recently for another one, and so he gets to know them, and then he realizes they're not protecting free speech. He says they're instigators. These people want fights. They are straight up neo-Nazis. And I'll tell you what, I'm embrace you, John, which is what his name is. He doesn't want to be called Base Spartan anymore. So John, dude, I got you. I got you here at Punks for Progress, bro. You woke, man. You woke. And I'm proud of you, man. And dude, all of those fucking Nazis know where he lives. They know his phone number, and he knew damn good and well when he came to to your counter protest. He didn't stand with you guys, Michael. That's another reason why he probably wasn't on your radar at all, because he was very clear. I'm not with Antifa. His sign says, it's all about love, no more hate. He said, we're here to just tell people that they're not here for free speech. They're actually neo-Nazis. I hung out with them. But going over and having a conversation with those guys isn't going to get them to wake up. It's going to be on their own accord through their own experience. And but it can happen. But until that, no, I'm not going to fucking try and convince you to wake up, man. I'm not having a fucking conversation with you people.
Nope, not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to argue with a Nazi. I'm not going to.
Right.
And if you're a Trump supporter, and see, that's just it, man. They have their flags. I read the New York Times article off Twitter. And I saw some guy make a comment. I was there, and I didn't see any flags on the other side. Oh, no, you didn't see any flags. We don't carry flags of oppressive governments around with us, okay?
Right. Yeah.
But they come with these flags, and and after a while, dude, then the fucking cowards showed up with their "Don't Tread on Me" flags.
Right.
They
let's talk a little bit about
with
their flags. There was a new flag there that I had never seen before.
Yeah, it was the green one.
No, I've seen the K flag a bunch, but there was a new flag there, and it's new to me at least. And I've been to a few of these things, and obviously seen all the frickin' video from every one of them, and I hadn't seen this flag before. And it's the Antifa image, but it's sort of yellow and green.
Yeah.
And in the spot where it's normally the red flag of socialism and the black flag of anarchism, which neither are communism. Thank you, you
oh my
alt-right.
God. How many times did I get called a communist Saturday? Jeez.
And there are anarchists that will associate, or communists who will associate with Antifa. That does happen, but that's socialism and anarchism. It's not communism. But anyway, so in that image on their version of the yellow and green flag, where it would be the red and black flag, they're transposed over it is a helicopter dropping a person. Now, drop you from a fucking helicopter is their mantra. It's their rallying call. It's their chant. It's a big one for these Nazi guys. The Nazis, Proud Boys, identity.
All of them?
Yeah. I heard him chanting it in Berkeley. I've seen him chanting it in other places.
Because there was definitely Proud Boys. I mean, you could see the the black and yellow Fred Perrys everywhere.
Lots of black and yellow Fred Perrys, and then there were black Fred Perrys.
So thank you for showing that out to me.
And the Identity Ropa guys are the ones that wear those skull masks.
They're the ones that charged.
Right, with the skin-tight, gray, kind of long-sleeve T-shirts and stuff, because they're hiding all their fucking Swazi tattoos and shit. But listen, the significance of that flag is it's an advocation for murder. Unquestionable. There is no question to that. Make no mistake. A flag that says, anti-fascist action, or, deal. I can't remember the word specifically, but the picture of dropping someone from a helicopter, that's what they're saying. They want to take people who disagree with their Nazi bullshit, take them up in helicopters and drop them. Now you can say, oh, it's just a flag and it's free speech, and that's right. And they're right. They have every right to carry that flag. But know what that imagery is. That is an advocation for murder. So that's your, free speech Trump supporter. Bullshit. They're Nazis. And Nazis have historically, throughout the entire history of fascism, been centrally focused with a visceral hatred for communists and anarchists. They despise us. We are their first enemy. Trust me, they hate minorities, viscerally hate minorities and LGBT, and even mentally deficient or mentally handicapped or whatever less inflammatory term, I apologize, that you can designate them with. They hate those people, but they come after the Anglo anarchists and communists first, because we are the first front against them. We're usually the first ones who wake up to their reality, and that is what's happening again. It has been the anarchists and socialists who are carrying the flag of Antifa now that first realized that these people weren't just your average Trump supporter. They were straight up Nazis. And they know we know, and they fucking hate us for it. They hate us. They want to kill us. And that's what those flags mean.
Wow.
You'll see them in the
was
video.
Quite a few. There was quite a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see them in videos. They're dropping people from a helicopter. What else is that supposed to mean? Free speech? Give me a fucking break.
They've really come out and just are completely empowered. And I'm sorry that we weren't able to shut them down. You know, we did what we could. They definitely outnumbered us. Apparently they didn't march, so I guess that was a plus. But the thing that I
gotta stop you real quick, Mike. You have nothing to apologize for. You guys stood up arm in arm with your fellow comrades, and you said no.
We didn't fight back
to them, and you made it clear, and you contributed. You contributed because they had these Sharia law protests all across the nation, and the vast majority of them, they were massively outnumbered. You, Michael, and your comrades on that corner contribute to massively outnumbering the alt-right in the United States, and you contribute to illustrating that they are outnumbered. And we have contributed, and so many other people have, to exposing the difference between these Nazis and your average Trump supporter.
Well, this goes to show. Now, see, before we wrap this show up. Well, thank you. But, I mean, it proved to me, we stood there arm in arm. We did not hit anybody. We did not charge them. They charged us. We stayed on our corner. We did not go over there and try to infiltrate their numbers. We didn't try to start anything. Nobody got in anybody's face and tried to start a fight. They came over and tried to provoke us. And some of us slipped a little bit and were weak because they're vile, horrible people. We did what we could.
It's intimidating.
But we did not. And you know nobody fought back.
It's okay to say you were scared, bro. Because I wasn't scared. Every time I've been
I wasn't scared. Oh, okay. No, let him have at me. And I told him, I was telling these guys I was standing with, let him hit me. I don't give a fuck. I'll stand there. I'll get right back up and go, really? It's all you got? I've been hit by bigger men than you. Fuck you guys.
I know. I'll take the punch, too,
I don't
bro.
give a shit.
I can take the punch, too, bro.
But I will not. I was not afraid of him.
Fear. It doesn't mean that I don't
know what it was, bro. I don't know if it was because I was locked arms with a bunch of other people that I felt like they had my back. And that's one of the things this guy, when I walked up, said, hey, we ain't got your back, bro. I said, you don't have my back. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about me. I can protect myself. I can handle myself. Don't worry about it. Right? But anyway, I felt like at that point in the day, they knew who I was and they did have my back because I had theirs. Whenever there was something going on, I was right there.
Right, respect is earned, bro. Trust is earned.
Anyway,
you had earned their trust.
When I saw those Nazis charging across the street, I ran over there and locked arms with those guys because I knew they needed bigger guys. And one of the first things that guy said to me when I walked up was like, "You're a bigger guy. You're a big guy." I'm like, "I'm not a big guy. Fucking shut up." But apparently, I'm a big guy. Really, you think I'm a big guy? Then I'll tell you what, I'll be a big guy for you today. Okay?
Straight up.
That's what I can do. That's what I'm gonna do. So, anyways, bro. But my main take from this was that they're the ones that are instigating this stuff. They're the violent ones. They're the ones that are pissed off and yelling hate. I'm telling you, when you talked about all that hate, I understand now why you were so out of fucking sorts for days after Berkeley, bro. I mean, I think that was way on a higher level than what I experienced this weekend.
It was a massive brawl.
Yours was a huge clusterfuck. Mine was a little bit more organized, but it was still... It was spewed. I had massive hate spewed at me for like 4 hours.
Sure.
Right?
It's just draining, man. It's intense.
Apparently it was. But yeah, it's coming from them. And I want, and you want, we want, we want this show and our videos to prove that, to show that. These people were non-violent. These people were peacefully protesting. We had our signs. We were chanting. We were beating on drums. We were fucking burning sage. We're a bunch of damn hippie anarchy idiots, right? Seriously, that was the side of the street I was on, and I was proud to be there, and I was proud to link arms with those people, and I thank them for taking me in and treating me as one of them. It was a wonderful experience, and I hope I run into these people again. Anyway, so I was getting ready to leave, bro, and I they had already said, because people were already starting to leave. So they said, when you're going to go, let us know so that you don't walk back to your car by yourself. They even sent people down the street to check our vehicles to make sure that they were vetted, that nobody had done anything to our cars, or were hiding in them or anything like that. They're going to jump out and do do horrible shit to us. So
people knew what they were doing. These people
really, and I'm like, hey, you know what? You've had my back up to this point. I'm not going to doubt you, right? I got no problem with that. So I stood there for a little while longer and made sure everything was cool, and I wasn't needed around anymore. And I was, like I say, my back was hurting, I was tired, and I was hungry, and I had to pee. So, because I'm old. So I said, hey, dude, I grabbed this one guy, bigger guy, younger kid, big guy, red bandana on his face. I said, hey, bro, I'm getting ready to take off, man. I said, so can we grab a couple of people? Yeah, sure, bro, no problem. So we walked around, and he walks over, and you can see this. It's in that Tim Pool video, actually. It's at the end of his video. He walks over, and he grabs a couple of young ladies that are masked up and grabs them, and we walk to the cars through the gas station and walk me over to my car. Excuse me. As I'm walking over to my car with these people, I'm kind of in the front. I like to say I'm leading everybody. I don't have time. I'm in a hurry. You guys don't walk fast enough. Excuse me. I turn the corner from the gas station and walk down the street, and I see 3 Nazis walking back up towards us. I'm like, oh, geez. Now, I was bigger than all 3 of those guys. It kind of reminded me of an old roommate I had that I could probably squash like a bug if I absolutely had to. But they're walking back, and we didn't say anything. We just looked at them. I looked at them, and they looked at me. And as we passed, they said, "USA, Jesus Christ." Okay. So we kept walking.
We'll get right on that.
And as soon as this was pretty much the whole. We all just started laughing. As soon as we got out of earshot, we just started laughing, and it was like, "Yep, that's it." And then I was like, "What the hell does that have to do? Was one thing have to do with another?" I'm like, "Right." So they walked me to my truck. I thanked them profusely. I got on my stuff. I drove out. I actually turned the corner and drove out. I could see them walking back through the gas station, and then I hung it right there out of the street I was parked at, and drove past the corners as I was leaving. And things had pretty much broken up. Most of our side had already pretty much gone at that point. And we're walking out to their cars. I think they were putting stuff away in the gas station. One of them had pulled their truck up into the gas station. They were putting the signs away and getting the PA and stuff like that put away, right, as I was driving out. So I had taken off. And then you tell me, after watching all this live streaming video, that these goddamn Nazis were so upset and pissed off that they didn't get the fight that they were looking for, that they came chasing after us.
Yes, they did. So I had to joke that even though I wasn't there, I actually spent more time at the San Bernardino march than Michael did.
Oh, you did not.
And I spent most of the day on the other side. I spent the 3 hours chilling with the alt-right and Tim Pool's live stream. And so literally I saw the video. You and that big dude with the red bandana, you guys walked off, and Tim starts talking to this other Nazi dude for about 5-10 minutes at the most, and then he kind of walks off to the street, and then boom, he starts darting off, and he runs, and he's running down, and the people he's running with are the core group of straight up Nazis. It's the Proud Boys.
Yes,
it's
exactly. It was that core group.
It's the guys with the helicopter flags. It's the straight up core faction of hardcore straight up Nazis, and they're running down the street, man. And you hear the one guy straight up, he goes, "We're fucking chasing them down. Fuck them. We're tired of this shit." And they're shouting, "Fuck Antifa. Fuck Antifa." And then So they're running down, and then you hear whoop, whoop, cops chirp their sirens, and a couple of the motorbike cops cruise down, and they kind of like cordon up, they head them off, bro. And they stop them in this big dirt lot you see in the video. And apparently,
yes, that big dirt lot was right across from where I was parked.
Right from where you were parked. So
right.
You guys got, like, man.
I got out of there right before. If I had hung out 5 more minutes, they would have been chasing my ass down.
But the cops did see what was going on, and they were able to head it off. But, I mean, so thankfully nothing did become of it. But that's straight up. And listen, the video's on. We're putting that video in the end of our show. So I want to talk a little bit about now the 2 Tim Pool videos that we're going to throw in here, because I obviously don't have a whole lot of respect for Tim Pool. I think he's a liar and a propagandist, and this whole notion that he's unbiased is absolute nonsense.
He's a journalist, bro.
Throughout his entire video, Mike, when the charges would happen and stuff, which are so blatantly obvious that the alt-right were the instigators, he called that repeatedly when the 2 factions are converging on each other again. No, bullshit, dude. You're blatantly lying.
We did not converge on each other.
No, that did not happen. They
converged
attacked
on us. Honestly, they converged on us,
Straight
man.
up. Now, there's video proof, and you're going to see it. And in our video, and then he repeatedly would say, "There's no straight up Nazis over there. There's some white nationalists." Well, he knows that. You know damn good and well, Tim Pool, that some of those people in that group are straight up Nazis. You know that, and you say that there aren't. So you are not unbiased. You are a liar, and you're a propagandist for the alt-right. And I'm offering you the opportunity to come on my show and debate me and prove me wrong, and we will do it respectfully. And this might sound sort of social justice warrior, whatever, but we will use empathy tent rules, because it will give you the opportunity, Tim, to speak in full and be heard completely, and so will we. But I am going to prove, if you have the balls to come on my show, that you are a liar and a propagandist, and you do exactly what that anarchist told you over and over in your video. You prop up the fascism. You prop up fascism. You give a voice to fascism, and you bolster the lies that they're not racist. And I can prove it on my show by debating you. And so we have 2 of Tim Pool. I took 2 portions of Tim Pool's video out. The video of the second surge that Mike talked about, obviously Mike didn't get video of that because he was locked arm in arm protecting himself from this fucking onslaught of violence and hatred. But Tim Pool got the video of it, so that's in the video. And it also shows how the cops did get the alt-right back to the other street, but that they did blatantly come back and stand off against your side. They came and stood against victims rather than arresting people who had just knocked over a cop.
Fucking new for cops.
Right. So I left that. That's about a 3-minute video. But unfortunately, in Tim Pool's 3-minute segment that I cut out, he talks in it. So, and his voice is annoying. And so what I did is I cut out the audio for the short video of the Nazis charging you, and I put in a very wonderful song by the Specials called "Racist Friend." And the reason that's important that I explain that to you is because as soon as that music drops out, as soon as that song ends, the video goes on, and that is the video of them trying to chase you down and beat your ass because you refused to be violent with them. And so when the music drops out at the end of when the special song ends, I want you to pay close attention, our listeners. Please pay close attention to the audio once the music drops out, because you'll hear them say blatantly, "We're fucking chasing them down. Fuck them. We're tired of this shit." So if there's any question in any of our listeners' mind,
tweet me.
Who is the instigators of violence, the people who want violence, the people who have a violent agenda, and who doesn't? And without question, it is the Nazis and it is the alt-right. And Antifa wear bandanas because they don't want to be harassed and hurt physically in their homes by these Nazis on the alt-right.
Did I tell you? I saw somebody on the other side with binoculars, like looking through our group.
Yes, they were doxing you. That's what they were doing.
That's exactly what they were doing. Yep, I saw it. So I'm doing it.
So that's our story, I guess, man. That's our side. And listen, yes, we cut out Tim Pool's audio so you can say we're unbiased. Go on his page. Just go to Tim Pool. You look at his live fucking stream of it all you want, and you'll hear him repeat.
Unbiased.
Earlier in the video, dude, very early in his stream, an anarchist came over and he was yelling at him, Tim Pool props up fascism, Tim Pool props up fascism. And then he kept trying to like tweak his hat. He was like trying to get his hat off. Well, for the rest of the day, easily I'm not exaggerating, not 2 minutes would go by that Tim Pool would talk about how he was assaulted physically by an anarchist from Antifa.
Right.
Every time he walked up to another Nazi or to another alt-right person, the first thing out of his mouth was, I was physically assaulted by Antifa. And the first couple times he says it, he uses the word swung at me, tried to swing. And then ultimately he starts saying, well, I can't say that he swung on me. And it's like, well, yeah, you can, because you already said that 3 times, like fucking 5 minutes ago. You liar. You liar. And they weren't. Even the alt-right guys are going, wait, well, what did he do? He tried to take my hat off. They're going, really? Really, dude? They didn't call him on it. They didn't call him on it, but they were like, they were really hoping that some Antifa guy had actually hit Tim Pool so that they could get a count of it and put it up on their YouTube show.
They were hoping one of us would do something, and the worst thing we did was take somebody's hat off. Yeah, because that really pisses them off when you take their hat off. Oh my God, they get pissed.
Right.
And they were already pissed off enough at us.
So the reason he did that, Michael, the reason that he's, had to repeatedly say that he had been assaulted physically was to justify why he never went to your side and talked to any of you. He's constantly talking about how he's unbiased and whatever, but never does he. Towards the end of the video, when there was like alt-right people there and he felt a little safer, he would venture onto your side a little bit, and then he was gone. You know what I mean?
No, let me tell you something.
I was assaulted. I can't stay over there because they'll hurt me. It's like, fuck, you are a liar.
Well, let me tell you something.
You know damn good well none of those people were going to hurt you, man. You know that, bro.
We were not putting up with having any fucking double agents at all. It wasn't going to happen. There was one dude that came over, and you can see him. He's in some of the video and stuff, and he's wearing a white and red soccer shirt. And he was on their side, and he was on our side, and they went back over to their side. And while he was on our side, one of the organizers came up to me and said, "Don't talk to that dude." I said, "I haven't talked to him yet." And I said, she said, "Don't talk to that dude." Because he was talking to me, and I was just like kind of trying to ignore him, and he just kept talking to me. And that's when she came up to me and said, "Don't talk to this guy." She's like, "I've seen him around. He comes to all the rallies. He's a kook. He's on our side." He's like, he kept telling me how he was all about love, and he's trying to do this, but he was on the other side. And it's like, look, they're not having it. So if you're on the other side and then you come over to our side, no, fuck you. You're not. That's not happening. There was no crossing over boundaries. We were not having Nazis. We were not having Nazi sympathizers on our side. That's not happening. So that's what it was. So you can call that whatever you want to call it, but when it comes to the violence that they tried to cause on us, we weren't taking any chances with a Nazi sympathizer. Sorry.
Straight up.
Understand, bro? Does
that
make sense?
About personal safety. They talk
No,
about...
it was about personal safety. It was very
victims.
much so.
They talk about being victims, and they're so worried about being attacked from the alt-right or from Antifa. That's their rhetoric constantly. And it's what Nazis have always done. In the 80s and 90s, they did that shit. We're victims. Everyone's attacking us. We just want to have our beliefs. We're victims. We're victims. White genocide. You're trying to wipe us out. Blah, blah, blah. You're not victims. You're provocators of fucking violence and hatred.
No, but dude, the conservators like to be victims. That's their thing. The war on Christmas, they're victims. Christians are the most victimized religion in the world. Bullshit. Anyway, so
and I just want to state for the record, fuck all organized religions, man. But anyway, well, do you want to respond to that? I'll let you.
No, I'm not going to. No, but the bottom line is they do have the right to be here. Freedom of religion. They have just as much right to be here as the Christians have a right to be here.
Right.
So, fuck you, no refugees. Rapefugees, I think one of the signs said. You know what? Your daddy's a rapefugee, okay? Your mama's a rapefugee or whatever the hell you want to call him, all right? Your grandpappy or somebody like that. Unless you're a Native American, you weren't born here, so... You're an immigrant.
Let me say
Face
this,
it.
Mike. Let me say this. I'm gonna do a little devil's advocate on
That's
that
what I meant.
refugees not welcome sign.
Yeah.
Okay.
You saw that, huh?
Oh, I've seen it all over. That's all over. That's a common image in their fucking. That's where the nationalist not welcome thing comes from. It's a response to that. And but they that imagery alone. Let's just say, for the sake of our argument, that there are some refugees that are rapists. Okay. Well, what they're saying is all refugees are rapists. That is a stereotype.
I think
that's
their
bigotry.
sign was that, definitely.
That's
was
a stereotype.
All refugees.
Right. That's a stereotype. That's bigotry. So
they want all refugees banned.
Right. So fuck you. That's racism. That's bigotry. That's, there's just no getting around it. They are hatred. They are racist. So actually, we've already said that enough. Or I have.
So why don't we show the
yeah,
video?
So why don't you? So you have 3 videos, and then we have the 2 clips. So why don't you explain to us in order what 3 videos are going to be?
Well, the first video was the one I shot when they charged us from the other side of the street. They charged my comrades on the other side of the street there. It's like the cop. It's just as soon as that happened, I got it going. So I don't have it happening, but I got the cops converging on the scene and what was going on there. And then how we had one of the guys, on our side of the street standing right there, and so I got up right in him.
That's your second video, right?
That's the first 2, or the first 2 right there.
Okay.
The third video is when they charged us from across the street. Okay. And it's us standing there yelling "Nazi punks, fuck off!" And I think they're pretty much still in the street at that point. I have pictures of them standing in the street while we're chanting at them. So.
Sure. And so that video, you're going to get a second angle of it in Tim Pool's video. So, so I guess we could probably just go ahead and do this.
Yeah, let's just do that and
play the 3 videos. Hey.
Follow us on Facebook.
Hey, bro, I love you, man.
I
love you, man. Way to stand fucking strong. Way to fucking just stand firm and stand up for decency and humanity.
Thanks, man. It was intense, bro.
Yeah, I know it was.
Some guy wanted to take a picture of my tattoo, so apparently they're going to vet me with my tattoo. They go, okay, this guy with this Punks for Progress tattoo must be okay. I love you too, man. Thanks.
All right, bro.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Peace out.
Fred Perry was a gay tennis player.
Y están reprimiendo a nuestros compañeros del otro lado.
Thank you.
Nazi punks, fuck off! 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 Nazi punks, fuck off!
Nazi punks, fuck off! Nazi punks, fuck off! Nazi punks, Nazi punks, Nazi punks, Nazi punks, Nazi punks, Nazi punks, Nazi punks.
Oh, shit.
Keep going this way!
Wrong shortcut, back to the cars. You gotta go back to our cars this way.
Wait, those fuckers can drive? No way, those fuckers have cars. One by four?
Don't cross the Prius on the way home.
Hey, fuck your Prius, too.
Make your mommy mad.
Good job, Tim, man. Good job, man. We love you.
Thanks, dude. Thank you.
So for those that are watching right now, a group of the anti-Sharia side is trying to chase down the Antifa people who left. But I think a lot of the Antifa people got in cars.
What was happening here?
They were chasing after Antifa.
They were chasing after.